Have you ever wondered what the best way is to prepare your RV for a travel day and then set up at your next destination? Well, today we are taking you through our step-by-step process and sharing with you all the tips and tricks and secrets that we've learned from our 2+ years of full-time RVing. So let's get to it. All right, we are back on Craig's family land, boondocking, and about to be heading to full hookups. And today we are taking you along for all the checklist things, what we do to pack up before we travel and what we do when we're setting up. And everybody does it a little bit different, but this is gonna be how we do it. And you can tell us if you think it's wrong in the comments.
Yeah, we're actually going to a really nice campground. However, it's not our nicest one anymore because we went to Talona Ridge, and Talona Ridge is extremely nice. But we're going to, what is it called? Creek Fire?
Creek Savannah. It's a nice one too, though.
Which Savannah's really nice. Their downtown area, the historical side of it and all that's really nice. So we'll get to see that. But also, we'll show you how we're gonna pack up, which will be different because we are boondocking, but we'll have some extra steps once we get to the campground because it'll be full hookups.
Full hookups again. Nice long showers. So we do usually divide it up, like I do the inside and Craig does the outside, and when we're boondocking, he gets off easy because there's not a lot of outside stuff. The first thing I always do is the dishes, and we only have one cup to wash, so that's good. And the reason why is because Craig just washed all the other dishes this morning, so.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The inside stuff doesn't always go in the same order, but another thing we always do is vacuum, especially under these little flappy things for the slides, so that we don't bring the slides in with like a little rock under there and end up tearing the vinyl flooring. All of my plants do have to be put away for travel day. I use this basket for 2 of them, and I just kind of like stick it in there and fluff up some other things around it to keep them all in place, and I'll show you where I put it in just a second. I don't know, I kind of wish I had a better place because I've broken a few limbs, but this is the best way I know of right now. So this is the other plant that goes in here, and I put this bag on it because sometimes the little rocks fall out and I don't want them getting everywhere, so it just kind of helps keep everything in place. And then for traveling, I just set it right here, and when the slides come in, keeps it in, everything in place, and it's done well so far. Plant I put in the shower. I don't have a written checklist that I follow more of my mental checklist, but once we've done a lot of the large things like dishes and sweeping and I put my plants away, I start to do my checklist, which basically is scanning the RV. So I start at one section and start scanning around. It's like, okay, what's left to do? If you joined us last week for our little tour, you saw that I showed you how I hang these curtains, which is just with this little hook right here. The reason why there's 2 hooks is because I thought I was going to use these, but I didn't like how low that ended up being. I didn't take it down, I left it up, but just installed these ones as well, which work pretty good. I'll make sure that this end isn't touching the wall because I don't want to scuff it up. I take one of the little loops here and just attach it to this handle to keep it in place, otherwise it will kind of shake around. And then I take some of the fabric and cover this end of the rod so that it's not scuffing up the trim. So that keeps it in place and keeps it from scuffing anything up. You're getting a sneak peek of the mess under the table, but the chairs and the bench all have to be secured. The chairs came with this strap that attaches to the wall, and then you just wrap it around and click it in place. The last thing is in the dining room area. So much in the dining room area. The dog bowl, this goes in the shower. And this dehumidifier, I usually just slide up here so that if we stop, it doesn't tip over.
So on the outside, we always, as soon as we get anywhere, we put up our Starlink because we both have to have internet. We keep our router in the storage area and just run our wires through this hole here and then to the dish, which is in the back, but we got to make sure we take that down and put it up in a safe place because this is already our 2nd dish. We broke one in Mexico and we don't want to do that again. All this bird poop.
Oh my gosh. That just happened here?
I guess.
Ew, disgusting. Quite a few things happening in the kitchen on travel days. The knives have to go in the cabinets down here. The paper towels go in their little nifty paper towel holder spot. I right, Victoria from the future here, speaking of things with nifty spots to put stuff, because I am a sucker for a well thought out design. Did you know that Lectric e-bikes have a dedicated spot for their bike locks right there at the back of the bike? A big thank you to Lectric for sponsoring a portion of this video, because it's support from brands like Lectric that we can feel proud to share with you guys that is going to help us invest back into our channel to create content that you really enjoy. We've got some really big destinations planned for 2024, and we cannot wait to put these bikes to the test even further. From the new hydraulic brakes, which are working fabulous by the way, to using the throttle, which will take you like up to 20 miles an hour without doing any extra pedaling. We cannot wait to see where these bikes are going to take us next year. And we'll have a link in our description that'll take you to the biggest discounts that Lectric is currently offering. Okay, now back to packing. And then the microwave plate has to come out because we've not taken it out before, and it fell out and shattered everywhere. Our coffee pot does stay in place. I just have this, I don't know, this was attached to a yoga mat. You see it's all stretched out now. I don't know where to tell you to get one. But we just wrap it around the coffee like this, pot like this, squish it up into the corner, and then it's usually good to go. And the fridge has this little screw thing. I think this is something Brinkley's custom made, and there's a screw hole, and you just screw it in here and it keeps the fridge shut, which is nice because otherwise it will come open. I've, again, forgotten before it had spaghetti sauce all over the floor. So a lot of times we'll bring out our chairs when we're boondocking, but we were only here for a couple nights, so we didn't bring out all the stuff. We have a rug, chairs, all that kind of stuff. It's all what goes in here. And because we're just lowly peasants, I have to manually put our mirrors up for tow mode. But that's pretty much it for the outside for now. All we gotta do is hook up. Before we can hook up, we gotta bring all the sides in and put the stairs up. Not much to do in the bathroom and the bedroom. The bathroom is mostly just making sure that this glass shower door is locked. It never looks clean, so I apologize. Well, it looks clean for about 5 minutes after I clean it, and then it's done for after the first shower. And in the bedroom, I have more plants to take down. This and this. These just get tossed in here. These aren't real, these are fake, so they just get tossed in here. These go in one of the cabinets. I switch off which one I do. Let's do Craig's messy closet this time. I just take a look around, make sure nothing's on the floor, turn the lights off. Oh, we forgot to make sure that the bathroom vent's closed. That's closed. Turn these lights off, shut the door. It rides best in the shut position. Make sure that the AC is off. We're boondocking, so it wasn't on, but the heat was actually on because it was a little chilly this morning. So turn that off, turn off all the other lights, and then see if Craig is ready to go. Oh, I also turn off the water pump while we're riding so that if any of the faucets shake open, we don't come back, or we don't arrive to our next destination with a flooded RV. One extra thing I have to do on the inside after putting the slides in is putting this rug right here. Well, Craig will show you where we put it. If it'd go that way, the pantry door doesn't come open and rub against this guy. Ask us how we know. Yeah, it's not great. And while Craig goes and gets in the truck, starts backing it up, I come over here and do auto hitch. The way the auto hitch works is it remembers the position that you were at when you last pressed auto level, and so it'll just put it right to that. It'll retract the rear jacks first, of course, and then raise the front accordingly. So another part of my checklist is making sure that everything over here is hooked up. My 7-pin connector's hooked up, which it hooks up here. Some hook up near the bumper, and also your safety breakaway cable. That way, if we do come unhitched, it'll pull the brakes and lock the tires up, hopefully, and stop the RV from rolling. But also, the most important thing, in my opinion, is making sure this kingpin is actually latched inside the hitch. So you can see there's like a little shiny silver thing kind of deep inside there. But sometimes on some of them, I've never had an issue with mine, but some of them will only maybe go part of the way and you think it latched, but it's just a good idea to peek in there, make sure it's actually completely latched in there and everything's good to go. Also got to pull up our jacks, super simple, and grab all our little
Lego blocks.
And since we had to roll up on some blocks to get level, Craig has to pull off the blocks while I pull them out from underneath.
So last thing before we hop in and go is to check all the compartment doors, make sure they're not gonna come open or anything like that. And just do a good walk around on the RV. Don't want anything falling off down the road. That wouldn't be great. And we should be good to go.
And then I will put our destination in the RV Garmin, which we're able to put our height and weight in so that we don't head under or over any bridges that we should not. We also always check our tire pressure when we first get in. And guess what we just discovered?
It says this is super low, but
72 PSI, which is a little odd, so.
also I think it's wrong a lot of times. Like it'll probably change after we get going, hopefully.
I don't know. Usually it's like 90.
We're gonna circle around and go back and put some air in it, have an air compressor, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
You can check your tire pressure before you leave so that you don't have to circle back around, but hey, we said this is how we do it, not the perfect way to do it.
We'll also show you what not to do.
That's right. This right here is why we want to drop a bunch of stuff off at storage, because it's just not organized in a way that's easy to get to stuff. And we want to trade out this big old air compressor for like a smaller one because this thing is huge. We bought it in Mexico when we got stuck in the sand.
102.
Okay, now this is the low one. Let's see what this says. How accurate it was.
Wow, it is pretty low. Part of me feels like it's this or this valve stem.
Leaking.
Yeah.
Don't see no screws or anything? No screws or anything?
Well, it's been doing this for a while though.
Yeah.
So they call for 120 PSI, so I think I did like 119 and a half. Close enough.
This front driver tire has been like slowly, just always a little bit lower. So we'll see how long it lasts this time.
One says 117.
We're all pretty close to 120 PSI. Well, the driver's front, the low one, is now the highest. So if it starts dropping again, we'll know.
So we have not drove in Georgia on the interstate since we've been in Georgia and not had backed up traffic because of a wreck. I'm not saying you Georgia folk can't drive, but it's kind of seeming that way.
You're talking about yourself. You're from Georgia originally.
Hey, I didn't start driving until I'd been living in Florida for a very long time.
Well, all that traffic today really put us behind by like an hour and a half or something later than what we were supposed to be arriving. I was trying to show you guys our tire pressure is doing good. We've not lost any pressure since we started going. So that's good, but it looks like we're gonna be setting up in the dark.
Yeah, I'm tired of driving.
We'll see how much we can show you in the dark. And we had to stop and fuel up because if we had any more traffic on the highway, we probably would just run out of fuel right there. So better.
Says 18 miles left.
So even though we only have like 5 miles supposedly to our RV park, you know, you never know with this traffic. So our process for when we're arriving at RV parks is we'll pull in, you know, park wherever the signs tell us to park. I'm the one who runs in, checks in, come back, drive to the site. I get out, help Craig back up. I don't know how much help I am, but I stand back there and wave my arms around. I do some stuff, and then we pick up from there for the rest of our setup process. So the first thing we do before unhooking or doing any of the things is we check how level we are.
If you stayed in any 1,000 trail RV parks, you know that the sites do not always come leveled.
This isn't 1,000 trails, but it's still.
Yeah, I know, they scarred me.
We'll see. Oh,
But
nice.
this one's pretty good.
This one's pretty good.
Yeah.
In that case, once we know we're level, we're gonna chalk the wheels. That's what you definitely wanna do first.
Put down a couple blocks. A lot of RV parks, especially if it's concrete pad, they require you to put some of these down. So we're going to throw one under each leg because the ground shouldn't be so soft anyways, and it's pretty level, so one should be fine. So next thing is plug your power in. I like to go ahead and plug the power in. You should unhook your RV from your truck. like the power connection. I never have, and it's always been fine. Just read the comments. I'm sure somebody will say why you're supposed to, but I like to plug it in so we'll have full power going to as much as possible through the batteries when we're running our jacks and slides out. Also, have a power surge protector. This one will light up colors to tell you if it's good or not.
Also good to check the electric first, because that also isn't guaranteed to work just because you're at an RV park.
So we're good.
Nice.
So now we have to put the front jacks down to lift the front up so we can unhitch. If you have a fifth wheel hitch, you'll have to pull the lever to release the kingpin that we talked about earlier. And then undo all your hookups. You'll drive through some of the RV parks and see everybody's wire just kind of hanging and stuff. A good idea would be like what I do is I roll it up and then I throw it inside the pin box up here. It's going to protect it from the sun, the weather, and keep it nice and neat. Yeah, rain.
And now I get to push the magic auto level button.
Before we do the other hookups, after we're level, we go ahead and put the stairs down and put the dogs inside so they're not just sitting in the truck, especially if it feels like summer or whatever, it can get hot in there. And then after we put the dogs out, then we come back outside and hook up our sewer, which we have a couple things that we'll show you guys with that, and we'll do our water hose also.
And now we can open the slides, and while Craig's pushing the button, I run here in the back and make sure that my pillow method worked and there's nothing behind the slides. Here, and we're good. Everything else, like the plants, the curtains, everything else, I just do whenever. I mean, sometimes it happens when we arrive at first, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the plants from the shower happen when Craig's ready to get a shower, and he's like, why are there plants in the shower?
Every time. So we wanted to show you how we hook up our sewer connections and all that. But it was dark last night after we put the slides out. So, new day, we're gonna do it now. First, most important, wear gloves. And for all you people who already do this and don't wear gloves, I don't know, you're weird, okay? You're just weird.
We can still be friends though. You can be weird, because we're weird in other ways, so we can still be friends, but Craig's just letting you know.
Yeah, I think there's two teams in this situation. One of them's poo-poo fingers, the other one are clean hands, okay? You can guess what one I am. Clean hands, not poo-poo fingers. We hooked up the one we had, we drained our gray tank, and it has a little leak in it. So we bought a new one, a new whole set. And we're gonna hook it up and throw our old one away. So if you're wondering why we got one hooked up and why there's one just sitting here, that's why. But let's do that. So we're gonna get rid of all this and pretend like we just arrived and start with nothing, as if we just pulled in. So first thing you wanna do is set up your sewer hose support, whether it's one of these or something else. A lot of campgrounds want you to use this. Some of them require it. I think it's a good idea. Keep your sewer hose off the ground and keep it all neat. Also helps it drain good so it's not going straight down and then you got this hump here you'll have to go over. Kind of keeps it raised, helps it flow better. Our brand new sewer hose. So what I like to do, it looks like we're only gonna need one, which is nice. I got it backwards. So this guy, two different ends. This one with the little hooks on it, it hooks onto your sewer hose on the RV. This side will hook onto your elbow. Make sure you get like a 90-degree elbow. I've seen some people we pull in and they just got this thing tucked down in this as best they can. I was at a dump station one time, remember? And somebody was doing it and it went everywhere. We literally just left. We didn't even use a dump station after them, it was so bad. So make sure you get the right connection, which I will show you right now.
Pick this kit up from Camping World. I think you can get it on Amazon. I'll link it below, but it's nice because it comes with two 10-foot hoses and the whole kit. And you're gonna want two 10-foot hoses because there will be times when one 10-foot hose is just not gonna work.
So this is your connection that you want to go into the sewer pipe that's at the campground. These two parts come apart. Basically, you wanna take this guy is made to kind of thread in. That doesn't mean it always works. Usually it won't thread in. You'll come to campgrounds where the pipes are just not great. And this one's, you know, doing pretty good. It's a decent campground. Everything's probably slightly newer than the 60s, so it threads in pretty good. This guy has little ears on it, and the reason it's set up this way is so when you thread this in, if it's like facing the wrong way, you can take this part off and line it up the best it will go. This guy connects to this, so it has the little nubs. This guy has little ears, just like that side will be the same. So one thing you want to make sure you get all these into their grooves. Sometimes you can twist this in and the bottom one not be in the groove, and you know it as soon as you dump your tanks. So we have a Valterra valve. I've already dumped our tanks one time this morning, so it's gonna be wet in there for sure when I open this. But the Valterra valve, for instance, on our last RV, it would leak real slow. So every time we got to a campground, it'd be filled with water at this cap, and you'd have to be ready to try and catch it best as you could. The Valterra valve puts a gate right here, so even if our tanks are leaking a little bit, it won't get past this to the cap, so you're kind of always safe. I highly suggest this. We have one in our Amazon store, I believe. We'll put a link somewhere. But anyways, so leave it closed until you get this hooked up. That's like the last thing you'll do. So right now we got it hooked up to here. We're about to hook it up to here. So you want to open up this guy. This guy, again, the ears, it just spins onto the little nubs. I like to push the thing down so it's sitting real good onto the sewer thing, because if not, sometimes this guy will be like all stretched out and weird looking. So if you push it down, it gives like, it just makes it work better, okay? You can figure out the physics to it when you do it, but I'm not. Then open up your Valterra valve and you're all good. Dump your tanks, you're ready to go. So our last thing we gotta do is hook up the water, which is hooked up already. Again, we got here, like, it is dark, blah, blah, blah. But what you wanna do is you wanna hook your water hose up to some kind of filter. I don't know, maybe you're a rebel, you trust every campground's water. Oh, we have one video where we tried some water and it turned brown the next day. So just get a filter, just do it. So you want to hook your water hose up to a filter. I go from the water hose to a filter to this Y and then to the spigot. You also want a water pressure regulator somewhere, whether it's on this end or on the other end where it connects to the RV. Typically on newer RVs, you want the pressure to be 45, I believe it's like 45 to 55, somewhere in there. It might be 45 to 60, but it's somewhere in there. Double check your RV. It should be in your owner's manual. They'll tell you what they recommend and all that. The reason we put a Y on here is because once you turn the water off and you open this, it sprays you, it gets all over you, and in the winter it's not fun. So we can open this guy and it releases the pressure. It also makes unscrewing this a lot easier. Sometimes when there's a lot of pressure built up in the hose still, it's hard to disconnect it. Also, it gives you an extra spigot, so if you want to connect another water hose outside or whatever to rinse some stuff off, you have this one. You don't have to unhook all your stuff to use it.
All right, and that's our packing up, setting up, all the things. And if you've been RVing for a while, this was probably not much new news to you, but I would be curious if you do it differently. Like we said earlier, this is the way we do it. Some people do things in different orders for different reasons. If you've got a different way you do it, let us know in the comments. We can all learn from each other. And we thank you guys for joining us again this week.
Or also, if you have other items that you incorporate into like your sewer system, your water hose system, any of that, let us know what you use, or if there's just something better out there that we haven't heard of.
I bet there's gonna be some good tips for better water filters than that chinky little $20 Walmart one.
If you have something other than like the 3-stage, what is it, the Clear Source 3-stage ones that most people have, I don't know, let us know.
Yeah, because we know about that one. But I'm curious if there's any other like less known ones. Known ones out
because we're getting one here soon, and we just ain't made up our mind what brand. But yeah, so let us know in the comments below.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.